Folks, the video that you're about to see, I posted with such enjoyment and enthusiasm. Yeah, that was me, kids. Mr. Enthusiasm. Or is that Commodore Tony, pretend Commodore Tony? Anyway, the information came to me mainly from a source from Malta, a person connected with relatives in the fishing industry there, and I'd like to thank you for alerting me to this topic. One of my favorite topics, kids. You know, folks, whenever I wear this hat, it's a dead giveaway what the topic is. I could leave the title of this video blank, and most folks will already know whom or what I'm talking about. Why, that favorite group of mine, Sea Shepherd, the girly men. No longer, well, they're still girly men, but they added another title. Yeah! They're a growing organization. They are now vigilantes. You know, I love these hypocrites, these cowards. We're enforcing the law while we're breaking the law. Really? Here's what happened, me hearties. In the Mediterranean Sea, were engaging in fishing for bluefin tuna. And the season is only about a month old, and I think it expires on June 14th or 15th. And then they're not allowed to catch any more fish. Most of the fishing is done under the watchful eye of governmental regulators, agencies that surround the Mediterranean, most of the countries there, specifically Malta and France in this most recent activity. Well, Sea Shepherd now, you see what happens? They're not only that vigilantes, they are publicity whores. Yeah! Well, as we say today, publicity putana, eh? That's because we all know Greenpeace got into an altercation with a grappling hook, and that made news headlines around the world. So Sea Shepherd is scratching their girly men heads and saying, "Hey, those are our headlines. We need those headlines to garner donations from suckers around the world." So what did they do? They come across a tugboat that was dragging with it pens, fishing nets, that held about 800 bluefin tuna in there. This is what happened. The fishermen catch the tuna, and they put them in these pens, and then the tugboats take them back into port. Alright? Well, Sea Shepherd approaches the tug and demands. That's right. Apparently the good captain took his badge out. "Hey, I'm law enforcement, so I demand." Demand nothing, that's a vigilante. He demanded to see the captain's records to prove to Captain Kangaroo that that fish was caught during when the season was open, because Captain Kangaroo came across this tug after the close of the season, and the captain said, "You're a liar. You didn't catch this fish before it because the weather was bad on the last day, so you had to have caught this fish after the close. Thus it's illegal for you to have this bluefin tuna in here, and we're going to liberate them. The heck with you." Did somebody in the background yell out, "Get a rope"? I mean, that's what vigilantes do. So what did they do? The fishermen tried to save the bluefin tuna. The girly man threw a hook, a grappling hook. It caught one of the divers, gashed part of his body, I think an arm, with the hook. Alright? So now he's bleeding profusely. He gets back in the boat. On the deck of the boat, there's broken glass. I wonder, the broken glass, that's because, once again, the girly men and Sea Shepherd are throwing their bottles of acid onto the deck to the point where when it hit the paint on the decks, it was melting the paint. But it's harmless. The fishermen are also claiming Sea Shepherd shot rubber bullets at them. Now, Sea Shepherd is denying this whole thing. Who do you think I believe? I'd believe Beelzebub himself over Captain Kangaroo, folks. Well, anyway, so now this fisherman's got this gash, and they got to get him back to port. So they said to the Sea Shepherd, they radioed, "We need help here." And you know what Sea Shepherd said to you? They didn't offer the ride on the helicopter for the man to get aid. Do you remember it was a year or so ago, I think it was 2 seasons ago, when the Japanese lost a fisherman in the sea, and the Sea Shepherd claimed, "Why, we offered to use our helicopters and the Japanese told us to get lost." To which I have to say, really? Here you were offered to help and you told them to get lost now. So I don't believe you even offered the Japanese 2 years ago any help. Despicable. People of the sea normally help each other when in trouble, except the girly man of Sea Shepherd. So now the next day, Sea Shepherd decides they're going to harass another person. But get a load of this. This group was in Libyan waters. And this time the fisherman was shooting flares at the helicopter and at Sea Shepherd. The helicopter realized that the Libyans had locked radar onto them. When the cowards saw that, the helicopter landed back on the ship. Sea Shepherd put its tail between the legs, got out of Libyan waters and into the international waters to prevent themselves from getting into a conflict with the Libyan military. But they're so brave! Against unarmed people. But put a formidable force against him. They run with their tail between their legs. These cowards, these girly men, these vigilantes. That's what they are, kids. Alright, here we go again. Commodore Tony here, pretending, of course. We'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the nation you happen to be in. See ya, Mahates.